Now, they call me Pete the Particle. I love a bit of sweet corn. Now, I am completely consumed by carp fishing. I go 3 nights a week, I go 9 months of the year. I cannot get enough of it. But when it comes to tackle and bait, I have the very best that money can buy. If it gets me further, faster and fatter, then I'm having it. All right, Baz. Hello, Pete. Lovely to see you, mate. Now, Pete and I both love our carp fishing, but Pete has a bit more time and a bit more budget to play with. I simply don't. I've got the missus at home, I've got the kids at home, I've got the mortgage. Doesn't mean I don't try and get out. I'll get out when I can, maybe once a month. I just don't have the budget, though, to buy the most expensive tackle that's out there. Pete and I are much the same. We're just at different ends of the same scale. Now, my alter egos may be a little extreme, but we can maybe see shades of ourselves in both of them. But today we're going to look at some stuff from Daiwa that will definitely appeal to Pete and should also be very much at home for Barry. To set the scene, I'm tackle testing, as we've done many times before, but rather than just, take it out for an hour or so, the tackle, I'm going to look at a lot of Daiwa stuff, but I'm going to do a night, maybe even 2. So this is a Daiwa shelter, there's a Daiwa bed behind me. What we're going to deal with right now is how I'm going to tackle the fishing side of it. So here on my right hand side, these are tournament infinity rods. These are 325 test curve, and they are matched with Tournament Basia 45 SCW, and that's slow cross wrap reels. That is just about as good a kit as you can get. On my left, we have Daiwa's new Black Widow XT rods. These are 3.5 pound test curve, and they're matched with Black Widow reels. Both of the setups for these rods are very, very similar, and are going to do exactly the same sort of fishing, but in 2 different pegs. This is a beautiful old estate lake in the middle of rural Leicestershire. And the way to fish it, I'm told, is to fish across. It's about 20 wraps. We're going to do the same in this peg and the peg next door, because they're very similar. Everything wrapped at 20, so we're very, very good test to see how they perform and what the difference is liable to be between the 2 rods. Because let's face it, you can buy all of that there, including the pod, and have a lot of change for less than you can pay for one of these reels. First bite of the session didn't take long. This fish is kited way down to the right. And there's a lot of lilies in close, so we'll have to give him a bit of stick. But casting wise, 20 wraps, absolutely no problem for the Infinity. We fished the 3 bait stringer, and yeah, it just ate that up. 20 wraps is nothing. I understand there's sort of fish in here to over 30, and it's not a bad mirror. I don't think it's one of the giants in here, but good start to the session. This is a 3.25 pound Infinity. Yeah, it's quite a progressive action, but it's certainly not heavy. I mean, but I think the X45 carbon is incredibly light, but it's more to do with the energy release on the cast. We'll have a look at that when we go back out. But let's just get this fish in the net. Here he comes. So, nice common, he wallowed a bit, but I'm not surprised because the water's really warm. But a really good start. Messed up my plans a little bit because now we're going to have to go and fish with the other rods. I didn't really expect one first chuck on a stringer, but we had put some bait in earlier. But yeah, great start. Not going to weigh it, I would say just a double maybe, but nice old estate fish, nice and dark across the back, and yeah, lovely. So let's get him back. Let's continue with the trial. So it's the middle of the night, alarm's gone off, I've been fast asleep, and we've had this. So I'd say a mid-teen common. I had it in the second swim, so I've now had a fish on both of the rods, which has allowed me to form an opinion of the Black Widow XT as well as the Infinity. But I'm getting absolutely eaten alive with mozzies and midges. So I'm going to pop this back, and it does give me an opportunity to form an opinion of the rod, which I'll do as soon as we've got this fish back in, and hopefully we'll catch another one when it's light. Well, it's a proper carper's dawn It's 5:30. It's been a very warm night and the action's been constant rather than fast and furious. And we're into what feels like a better fish with the Black Widow XT. We're in the swim 2. And we keep swapping between them, but this fish is sort of headed off up the lake. But there's a couple of things you could see immediately with these rods. It's a slightly heavier playing action, and it's a little bit more through, a little steely. So it sort of will absorb a little better probably than the Infinities. Casting wise, they haven't got the compressive power of the X45, so they're okay, but obviously the quality of the carbon is altogether different. But I believe these rods are, I think they're 52 pounds, and that's not something you could sniff at for a usable carp rod. I mean, you would price them higher than that, you know. But a little bit heavier in the hand, which again you would expect. But you know, to anybody that is sort of starting carp fishing and wants a dependable rod with a good play and action, there it is. You can see the play and action there. You can't go wrong at it. You really can't. Again, you've got the Black Widow reel. That's been, as you would expect from Daiwa, it's been perfect. They cast well. They don't have any problems. Clutch works nicely. That's definitely a bigger fish. A great way to start the day. So session continues to be really fruitful. Another fish on the bank, and we've got the rest of the day to go, and probably one of the best tackle tests I've ever been on, you know. To fish with the actual stuff through the night properly and catch fish, it doesn't really get any better. And so far, yeah, I'm really happy with everything that's happened. Anyway, we'll get this one back and we make a cup of tea, I think. Now, it's been a bit of a mix and match for me. I've used some of my own kit and I've used some of Daiwa's kit, including this new Mission Plus shelter and their first foray into sleep systems, but we'll get to that in a moment. I've also picked out a couple of bits of the luggage that they do, and for a closer look or a more comprehensive view of their luggage, click here and have a look at carp feed. Anyway, what I particularly liked on the luggage was this. This is a low-level carry-all. Slides straight under the bed, chair out the way. It's got a nice flat top table. You can get just about everything in there, little pouches for leads and stuff like that. We really like that. I like the way it folds away under the bed. And this, I've seen a few of these on the bank. This is the Infinity system. This is the brew kit system, and I thought I'd give that a go. Again, you've got a little flat top, and inside all your brew kit. Really nice. Nice waterproof bottom, which is always handy because you can leave it out the bivvy. So we like those couple of bits of luggage. So let's move on to some sort of bigger items. This is the Mission Plus overnighter. I found it to be really quick and easy to put up, and whilst the rib system is a bit old school, it's a little bit bigger than most of them are now, it was incredibly easy to put up. I really like the ground sheet. It clips in easily to locate, and a lot of problems with ground sheets are that you don't know which is the front and the back and which is up the right way. This one's got a tag at the front, so it's easy to do like that, and it clips in easily. Also comes with 4 storm poles, so you can have it like this, which is slightly lower level, or you can push it up on these connectors here and have it quite high. Plenty of room for a bed chair. It's not got a great deal of room, but for an overnight or a weekend, especially in the summer, yeah, really good. And the price wise, it's under 180 quid. And considering you get bivvy pegs with that as well, I would say that that's a really good buy. Now, I'm quite fussy with what I sleep on. when I'm carp fishing. You get very used to your own beds when you're carp fishing. But I thought, okay, we'll step out of my comfort zone, and I've have a look at Daiwa's first foray into a sleep system. So what I would say is this: I had no trouble with the crash zips. It's been really warm, so I fished it pretty much open, really comfy and warm. I like the peachy inside. I quite like this little stash pocket. I thought that was quite interesting. There is a sort of a built-in pillow up that end on the mattress, but that, you know, I like my head quite high, and you would definitely need, I put a couple of hoodies up there just to pick me up a little bit. I've set it at its highest level, basically because I find it easier to get in and out of the bed like that. I've had no trouble with the legs at all. I would suggest that I'm not the lightest guy in the world, but it's got an elasticated mattress system, and it doesn't take long, especially when they're new, for this to wear a little bit. So I would use it once or twice, and then they're very easy to tighten. You just pull it from that end and re-tie it with a knot. But other than that, for £250, I would say that's a really good effort from Daiwa. It's not the biggest bed I've ever been on in a bivvy, but it's pretty light. I didn't have any problem getting it down to the peg. And yeah, for a weekend or an overnighter, really nice bit of kit. Now, as tackle tests go, this has been something really different. I've really enjoyed it, but to actually do sort of 24 hours with kit, you know, a lot of it not mine, has been really different, and has given me the opportunity to have a long time with this tackle. So I've got a couple of conclusions, and it's more of a conclusion than a comparison. I don't think that you can draw a comparison in rods and reels between these, which are just fabulous. So this is the Infinity and the Basia 45 SCWs, and over in the other swim, the Black Widow XTs with the matching reels. It's impossible to draw a comparison, but what I would say is this: carp fishing, much like anything in our lives really, is a journey, and what you start your journey with isn't ever what you'll end your journey with. And those rods over there for £50, and the reels I don't think are that much dearer, is probably a great place to start your journey if you're thinking about getting into carp fishing. They'll work well, there are no problems around them, and they're very, very easy to fish with, and they'll do what you want, whether you want to throw bags with them or throw leads. They're great. Even if you had the money to afford these and you were just new to carp fishing, I wouldn't say to you, no, go and get the very best that you can, because to compress these rods, you'll have to fish quite a long time anyway to get the best out of them. And the reels, although they are things of beauty, like all things of beauty, have one or two issues. Now, to a seasoned angler, they're annoyances more than faults, and you could get around it. But if you're new to fishing, especially carp fishing, you'd find that a real problem, because the reels have a bit of tendency to go under the spool, the anti-reverse, because the body lines are so sleek on the back of the reel. So when you look at them, they are beautiful. It's not quickly located, but in return for those couple of little issues, you get a beautiful line lay. You can cast a long way with them and all things like that. So I don't think that you can draw a comparison, but you need to look at it for what it is in reality, because price-wise, they're not even the same. So my advice to anybody watching this: start your journey with rods like that. They really are, they're going to serve you well for your first couple of years in your carp fishing. Anyway, I've got one in the net, and that looks to be the best fish that we've caught. The bailiff has come round. He says it's a known fish, but we'll get it out. We'll take a couple of pictures of it, pop it back, and that'll be us done. Now, at the start of this video, my alter egos, Baz and Pete, spoke about their needs and wants from fishing, and they both mentioned that they were at different ends of the same scale. And the scale, no matter your budget, is to put one of these on the bank. As is the way when you're carp fishing, it was a very slow pack away, with the rods always the last thing to go back in the car, and a little cheeky last moment one, and it actually turns out to be the biggest common of the trip, definitely a 20, and probably is the end now.